is a clip from some Arab English TV show for Arab audiences from Casablanca to Baghdad. This is Sami Hamdi's father.
On TV before the entire Arab world, from Morocco to Saudi Arabia, this is a broadcast message from the father of journalist Sami Hamdi to the U.S. administration. Please listen and share. Thank you.
This is a question to the American administration. This is a question to ambassadors of the United States of America in Arab Islamic capitals and in capitals around the globe. This is a question about my son, Sami Hamdi, detained in America in San Francisco since Sunday, 26 October, last October. That's more than 10 days now. The government announced, the US government announced that his visa has been cancelled and that he is detained pending deportation back to the United Kingdom. My question to you is that America is built on the principle of freedom of speech. That executive orders of President Trump celebrate this principle of freedom of speech. Like this one, dated last May. Now you can see it on screen.
Okay, so Sami Hamdi's father is going to quote the Trump administration with one of the executive order, and I'll pull that up in a second. But not only do we have the First Amendment, but we got the entire Bill of Rights. We also have all the freedoms in the body of the Constitution, like the right of the writ of habeas corpus, to be free from any bills of attainder, to be free from nobility. We also have all this case law. We got a whole bunch of case law that gives us freedoms as well. The right to reside with one's relatives comes from Moore v. East Cleveland, 1977. The right to marry is Loving v. Virginia, Turner v. Safley. The right to use contraception in a sacred marital bedrooms come from Griswold v. Connecticut. So we have a bunch of case law that says that we got more freedoms than just what is embedded in the Constitution. These freedoms are embedded in just human, just common sense. They're so fundamental. They're so fundamental to our society, to our way of living. The right to get married, the right to have a family, the right to allow relatives to live with you, the right to educate your own children, the right to refuse medical treatment. So, on top of the freedoms that are listed in the Bill of Rights, we have even more freedoms. So it's not just the First Amendment, but the first freedom. If we can't even protect our first freedom, is there any chance any of our freedoms are actually going to be upheld?
President Trump said, "Free speech is the bedrock of American democracy. The freedom to express and debate ideas is the foundation for all of our rights as a free people." Executive Order 13925, May 28, 2025.
So why then? Why then my son is detained because of his views on Palestine? I don't want to discuss with you the merits of his views on Palestine, because I know they represent the views of the majority of mankind now in our world. Most of the people, most nations, see clearly that the Palestinians are being oppressed by the Israelis, that the Israeli army is committing war crimes in Gaza. Most people know that, and Sami speaks about that, but that's not a crime. Advocating for Palestine, for the right of Palestinians to dignity, to freedom, to peace, to security, is not a crime. And at least, if you don't agree with Sami, it's an exercise of free speech. So why don't you respect my son's right to free speech? Why don't you listen to him and engage in a debate with him?
That's precisely what they said about Charlie Kirk. They said Charlie Kirk was, debating college students. He wasn't beating up on college students. He was actually engaging other people with his ideas. That's what they said about Charlie Kirk. And then I'm reading this executive order. This executive order was back in 2020. So 5 years ago, but it does talk about free speech over and over again. Free speech is the bedrock of American democracy. Our founding fathers protected this sacred right with the First Amendment. The freedom to express and debate ideas is the foundation for all of our rights as a free people. What a hypocrite. What a hypocrite. In a country that has long cherished the freedom of expression, we cannot allow a limited number of online platforms to handpick the speech that Americans may access and convey on the internet. This practice is fundamentally un-American and undemocratic. When a large, powerful social media company censor opinions with which they disagree, they exercise a dangerous power. They cease functioning as passive bulletin boards and ought to be viewed and treated as content creators. The growth of online... So, free speech, free speech, free speech, free speech. So, it isn't just, it isn't just our Constitution, our Bill of Rights. It's not just our case law, including Crandall v. Nevada and the slaughterhouse cases. They have some interesting paragraphs about freedoms. But it's even the executive order of the current president now. Sami Hamdi endorsed the current president.
Why? Why do you arrest him, cancel his visa and say you want to deport him? Why do you deny him the right to speak his mind? You publish an annual report on human rights where you play the role of like the big teacher, the referee on human rights respect in every and each country of the world. So why don't you respect it in America itself? Why is it that my son inside America expressing an opinion and then facing all this harassment, detainment, deportation? Why is it? How can you accept this? It's not good for America. It's not good for your reputation worldwide. I want you to see the illogic, not the logic. Not see, there is no logic in what you did. I want you to see the clear mistakes, the clear wrong you did on my son. I want you to right the wrongs. I appeal to you to free my son now. Give him his visa back. Allow him to continue his tour and speak his mind. What does he have? He has an opinion that you can reply to. Don't listen to a minority of people who think that like Israel is more important than America. Your image, your standing in the world is badly harmed when people and nations see you arresting people just for an opinion. And an opinion against another country, against Israel. People criticize India, Brazil, China, Russia, Nigeria, South Africa, Indonesia, I don't know, Japan, any country in the world. And you don't feel angered. Only because of Israel you do all of this. You betray your values. You betray your principles. Aren't you the land of the free? Aren't you the leader of the free world?
That's what they say.
That's why I'm asking you openly.
They say we're the leader of the free world. We say we're a free country. From Crandall v. Nevada, 1867, this is what's considered our freedoms. We have the right to come to the seat of government to assert any claim, to transact any business with the government, to seek its protection, to share the government's offices, to engage in administering the government's functions. An American has the right of free access to the seaports through which operations of foreign commerce are conducted, to the sub-treasuries, land offices, and courts of justices, the courts of justice in the several states. So it's not just the freedoms in the Bill of Rights. According to Crandall v. Nevada, 1867, we have other freedoms as well.
On this TV station in which Sami worked before and presented shows before, including shows between a Jewish rabbi, a Christian bishop, and the Muslim intellectual on how to widen the common ground between the Jews, the Christians, and Muslims. Please stop harassing my son. It's not good. It's not fair. Please free my son, Sami Hamdi. Now, today, not tomorrow. want any American official, I invite any American official in Washington via phone or Skype or Zoom, or any ambassador to the United States anywhere in the world to reply to what I said, to engage in a discussion with me about the case of my son Sami Hamdi. I welcome that. I invite you to that. I want you to tell me and tell my viewers, why have you treated Sami Hamdi this way? Here is my email address, the email of Al-Mustaqilla channel, atv@almustaqilla.com. Send the station an email, put your phone, we'll get in touch with you and we'll arrange a debate, a discussion on Sami Hamdi, and let my viewers listen to your argument. I want to understand, why did you do this to Sami Hamdi? And when are you going to correct the wrong, to right the wrong, and to free Sami Hamdi? Come on, let's have a discussion. Take the right of reply and contact us, and let's talk about Sami. You will have plenty of time, all the time you want, to put your view across to my viewers.
But the thing is, they don't want a fair conversation. They don't want a fair debate. They will not contact Sami Hamdi's father. I knew a father. It was Joe Canty's father. Joe Canty lied. Joe Canty said that I had done something to him. He injured me, but he said that I had injured him. And his father went to court 27 times in a row to back his son up. Back his son up, who was doing bad, who was doing wrong. So some people might say you should defend your children no matter what, whether they're right or wrong. I wouldn't fault a parent who defended their child who was wrong. You love your children, right? But for a father who doesn't stand up for their children, even when they're in the right, even when they were defending themselves, 27 appearances. I like Sami Hamdi's father. This is a good father right here. This is like a Atticus Finch. Atticus Finch is the ideal father. There's some fathers out here that will back up their son, and they will back up their son when they're in the right. Sami Hamdi didn't do a damn thing wrong. He was on a speaking tour. He had a valid visa. And then out of nowhere they revoked his visa because they found some old video that said he was celebrating the October 7th attacks. And he's right. You can criticize Nigeria. You can criticize Sudan. You can criticize Brazil. Criticize Mexico. Criticize Canada. Criticize Greenland. But it's only Israel. You can criticize the American government. But it's only Israel. That's where we draw the line. Don't think that this shit ain't going to hit. I mean, Julian Assange just makes me think of Julian Assange, and then there's Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning.
Is that fair? I hope you see it very fair indeed. It's like this. Life is better like this. You have I put an opinion, you give me your opinion, and that's it. People can listen to two opinions. We don't need to involve arresting people for an opinion. It's not good for America. It's not good for Sami, of course. It's not good for the world we want to build for the new generations. Thank you for listening. Free Sami Hamdi now, please. Thanks to everybody listening.
Okay, so from the slaughterhouse cases, we get some more freedoms. Let's hear what the slaughterhouse cases, which actually narrows some freedoms, but here's a paragraph from those 1873 controversial slaughterhouse cases. Another privilege of a citizen of the United States is to demand the care and protection of the federal government over his life, liberty, and property when on the high seas, within the jurisdiction of a foreign government. So an American in the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, or Arctic Ocean, or if we were under the jurisdiction of a foreign country, if we're in Russia, North Korea, Britain, Germany, Somalia, Mozambique, we still have a right to demand the care and protection of the United States government for our lives, our liberty, and our property. Of this there can be no doubt, nor that the right depends upon his character as a citizen of the United States versus of the states. The right to peaceably assemble and petition for redress of grievances, the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus, are rights of the citizen guaranteed by the federal Constitution. The right to use the navigable waters of the United States, however they may penetrate the territory of the several states, all rights secured to our citizens by treaties with foreign nations, are dependent upon the citizenship of the United States, not citizenship of a state.
And let's hope, inshallah, that soon, very soon, we'll have much better news about Sami Hamdi and about America adhering to the principle of free speech and acting upon it, not saying something and acting in a different way. Peace to you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi